I'll bring a book. Until like the 3 p.m. meeting.
And that's when
Thursday, October 18th. Okay, number 6. Is that it for number 6? Yep. Thank you, Missy. Number 7, discussion and interaction. Administrative order, September 20, 2012, entered by Circuit Court of Pocahontas County, West Virginia. Sue, is that the...
This is the one that judge. I gave everyone a copy.
And what's he say?
Well, he addresses issues, and some of this is addressed in magistrate court, but some of it addresses offices to the entire courthouse.
Yeah, I thought it was
So
a little bit overbroad of its jurisdiction. Since his jurisdiction.
Well, just looking down here, the hours of operation for the magistrate clerk shall be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The courthouse closes at 4:30. And as I've pointed out to you in your email when I sent you these copies, County Commission sets the hours for the courthouse.
So we have a bit of a jurisdictional
So we have a
conflict
problem that we have to leave the doors open till 5 o'clock if the magistrate clerk's office is open till 5.
So how can we solve that? Sounds like
That's
we don't
why I
have
brought
the
it
right
here.
to close the door at 4:30 as far as magistrate court code is concerned, is that?
The West
Or
Virginia Code
Judge
says that the County
Judge
Commission
Bradford
sets a courthouse hours, as I pointed out in that email.
Okay. And this number 1, the hours of operation for magistrate court, that's not code, is it? That's the judge's request.
This number 1?
Yes.
I don't know where that came from. I just was served a copy
So
of this.
what are the courthouse hours now?
8:30 to 4:30. And I did check, and the magistrate court downstairs itself is open from 8:30 to 4:30. This is for the magistrate clerk, which is this office here in the main hallway.
So that's the only office?
That's the only office is affected, I believe.
Is the clerk's
From what I
office
could-
to
yeah.
9 to 5?
That's all I could.
Does that require the maintenance staff to be on duty at an odder hour than the regular courthouse hour?
I would think somebody's going to have to be.
Why don't we just simply write the judge a letter back and say, well, hey, Judge, the courthouse hours are 8:30 to 4:30. Why is this different since the magistrate court itself is 8:30 to 4:30? Is that right?
That's what I was told. There was a sign down there posted that says that the magistrate court's open from 8:30 to 4:30.
So let's just ask him that question because, and to remind His Honor that the Commission is authorized by statute to set the hours for the courthouse, and could there be some sort of cooperation between the two jurisdictions?
Or even if it's necessary, and this is just a thought, if it's necessary for the clerk to be over there to do backups or whatever she has to get done by 5 o'clock, maybe that they could adjust their hours from 9 o'clock to 4:30 for the public to come into the building, and then she could work her extra half hour, there with the doors locked. That might work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she can go out. She can push out the door anytime she wants, even though it's locked.
Yeah. So that's a thought too that we may consider asking the judge about that.
So why don't you draft some sort of letter like that and
okay.
send it
Well,
out.
let's go over these issues because there are a lot of them contained here. The offices of the courthouse are conducting business. Anyone not conducting court business will be required to vacate the office. Now, it says the offices of the courthouse. That does, this doesn't deal with a court office.
Well, I think
I think so too, but that's not what this order says.
He says,
I don't think it requires it or to possibly result in any action from us to make something to address specifically.
well, he's just making a statement that you shouldn't come in and lollygag or loiter or abuse or interfere with or impede or otherwise obstruct the smooth flow of public service to the public.
Well, any person interfering with courthouse employees, that goes without saying to me.
Yeah, it goes without saying too.
You have them removed.
There's nothing here to disagree with. It's all agreeable.
The books belonging to the courthouse. The judge is saying that if I want to go into the county clerk's office and look at the West Virginia code, then I can do that.
Let me see what it says. Number 4.
The reason being is that all that code is online.
Oh.
Not everybody has
Not
a
the
computer,
footnotes. No.
and those books are paid for by public funds.
He
Yeah.
said they were for the use of those magistrates in their duty.
But I'm talking about the other offices who have West Virginia code. There's a code in the,
There's a code in the circuit clerk's
the
office,
county
there's a code, the
clerk,
county clerk.
and that addresses
And
those
this-
offices.
And that addresses these offices too.
They belong to the taxpayer, and the taxpayer should have access.
Right.
I would think so. I mean, it was paid for taxpayer money.
You could buy a set here for this office and we could come in here to study.
Well, why don't you, in your letter, mention that, is that perhaps overly broad, and does he mean to restrict that to the magistrates?
Now, this number 5,
Just the
criminal
magistrate.
arrest warrants, that doesn't pertain to any office in the courthouse except the court. So I don't think that's a concern of ours.
Number 5,
Courthouse in here.
that has nothing to do with us.
No, the number 5 is out, but number 1, we need to address
Trying to keep the
that.
public from accessing the physical books in the courthouse that governs West Virginia Code and state rules. I don't think we can do that.
We cannot stop anyone from coming to this courthouse to look at the books.
Right.
Not that we
These are
paid
public
for.
documents.
That's right. So we'll have to just put that in the letter too.
Martin, why don't you write the letter?
You should write that.
I'll be delighted.
Thank you. You already have a copy here.
Okay. Do we need action or anything to allow it to be put on letterhead or?
No, I'm
letterhead,
gonna
you need to
email
vote to do
my
it.
draft to you and Jamie before you sign it.
And then, well, we need action to put on letterhead.
And before you go off to jail.
Do we want to just put it on the next meeting to pass it or not?
You're gonna be taken up by an auxiliary up to the regional after I write that letter, or how you going? Maybe you could drive yourself up. Save some money. David,
I'll bring my lunch.
you'll need more than just your lunch, honey.
Can we write that, can we vote on this matter on the next meeting and have Martin work on a draft for them?
Martin will work on a draft.
So we won't take any action today.
Okay.
Well, we're already being forbidden to use the books. There's a sign posted in the magistrate's office. Maybe if
There
we-
is a code section set in the county clerk's office, Norman, so there are, we can't control what the court's doing. But there are codes
But
in
we
the
can allow
county
the
clerk's
public
office.
access to the other.
But
Complete set of
between
codes.
now and whenever this letter, the judge changes his mind, we're gonna not be allowed to use the books in the courthouse?
I
No.
think that you're allowed
I
to
think
use
you can
any
use the
code in the
books in
county
the
clerk's
circuit
office.
clerk's
It's open till 4:30.
In the circuit clerks?
Or the county clerk.
Okay, good.
I would think so. But as for the court itself, I believe the judge would have control over that until we address it to his honor. I'm sure the order means well, and I'm sure we can work with the court to arrive at a reasonable resolution that's going to serve the public and the courthouse together.
Number 8, discussion and or action, courthouse lighting project, Plateau Electric, resolution and payment request.